Hi there, my name is Dimitris Harlabedis, and in this short video, I believe, we will see how we can move between different forms of a line. To begin with, let's remember the three different forms of a line that we have seen so far. At first, we had the slope-intercept form, which is the form y equals mx plus c. Then we had the standard form, which is the form ax plus by equals c, in where a, b, and c are integers, meaning whole numbers. And in the third case we saw, it was about the general form of a line, which is the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where once again a, b, and c are integers, whole numbers. Once again, we had the slope-intercept form, in which we can see that we have solved for y. Then we have the standard form, in which we can see that x's and y's are brought on one side while the constant number is on the other side. And finally, the general form, in where we can see that every single term has been brought on the same side. And once again, the coefficients of x and y, meaning the values of a and b, are whole numbers, and c, the constant term, is a whole number as well. Now, we will see how we can actually move from one form to another. We'll begin with the case of the standard form, standard to slope-intercept. For example, assuming that we have the 3x plus 2y equals 5, I want to brought that into the slope-intercept form. Remember that the slope-intercept form, the key about it is that we have isolated y, so that's what I'm going to do. I will try to isolate y, which means that I'm going to solve for y. If I cannot solve directly for y, I'm going to try to solve for the term containing y, which is 2y. So I'll begin with 2y equals negative 3x plus 5. Am I done? No. The slope-intercept form needs y to be left by its own. So I'm going to try to isolate y, which means that I need to get rid of 2, which means that I will divide both sides by 2. So y should be equal to minus 3 over 2x plus 5 over 2. And this is exactly the slope-intercept form. Then, if I want to go from the general to the slope-intercept form. So, for instance, we have that minus 2x plus 2y equals, not equals, minus 7 equals 0. Once again, in order to get the slope-intercept form, again, I should isolate y. As always, if I cannot isolate y directly, I will begin by isolating the term that contains it. So I'm going to try first to isolate 2y. 2y is 2x plus 7. Then, in order to isolate y itself, I should divide both sides by 2, which will lead to y equals 2 over 2x plus 7 over 2, which is the same as x plus 7 over 2. Then, if I want to go from standard to general form, for instance, if I have the minus 2x plus 7y equals 10, and I want to bring it to the general form, we can see that the difference between them is that in the general form, everything is gathered on one side. So will this side be the left will decide be the right. It's up to me. It can be any of them. Okay, so in here, I'm going to bring everything on the left side. So negative 2x and 7y will remain, but then, since it will move from the right to the left, it will change its sign. So it's going to be minus 10 equals 0. Similarly, if I had to move from the general to the standard, for instance, from x plus 5y minus 10 equals 0, in order to go to the standard form, by looking at the standard form, I can see that the key about it is that x's and y's are on one side, so I'm going to keep them on the left side, which means that I'm going to put it as x plus 5y, but the constant number, in my case, negative 10, should be moved to the right. So since it was negative 10 on the left, it will now become plus 10 on the right, and that is the standard form I was looking for. And finally, let's see how I can go from the standard or from the general, from the slope-intercept to standard. Let's say that we have y equals 2x plus 9. In order to go to the standard, I should bring the x's and y's on the same side. Here, I'm going to bring them on the left. Y was already on the left. 2x, it was at the right. I will now move it on the left, so it will become minus 2x equals 9. Or I can write it, if someone wants, minus 2x plus y equals 9. It's the same. Be careful here, however, that if we had decimals, let's say that we had y equals 3 over 2x plus 5 over 4, in order to create the standard form, yes, I would have done minus 3 over 2x plus y equals 5/4 first, but I only satisfied one condition, which was bring x's and y's on one side. Now I need to satisfy the second condition as well, which is about a, b, and c. In my case, minus 3 halves, 1 and 5/4 be whole numbers. Right now, they are not whole numbers. How can I make them whole numbers? I should multiply everything by LCM of the denominators. In this case, the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. So I'm going to multiply everything by 4. 4 times minus 3 over 2x plus 4 times y equals 4 times 5/4. By doing so, I will get some simplifications. So I'm going to end up with minus 3x plus 5y equals 4 equals 5, which is an equivalent form with the previous one, but also in this one, we meet both conditions. X's and y's are both on one side, and all of them, a, b, and c, are whole numbers. The same process will apply if we want to go from the slope-intercept to the general one. So, assuming that we had y equals 1/2 x plus 3 over 2, at first, in order to bring them into a general kind of form, everything should be brought on one side. Again, it can be everything on the left or everything on the right. Here, I'm going to do it as everything on the left. So it's going to be minus 1/2 x plus y minus 3 over 2 equals 0. Am I done? Not yet. Why not? Because I want the coefficients as well. In this case, minus 1/2. 1. Let me highlight them. Minus 1/2. 1 and minus 3 over 2, I want them to be whole numbers. What should I do? The trick is multiply. Okay, let's make it better. Multiply by LCM, which is 2 in this case. So 2 times minus 1/2 x plus 2 times y minus 2 times 3/2 is 0. So we're going to have minus x plus 2y minus 3 is 0. And this is the general form I was looking for. That was all. I hope this video helped. Remember that I can easily go from one form to another through operations. Be careful with the signs when you change from one side to another. And remember that in the case of standard form and general form, you need the coefficients as well to be whole ones. In case you have any difficulties or any questions, feel confident and leave them as a comment below the video. We will see each other in one of the next videos. As always, thank you for your time.